2016, man. Seriously, I mean, I'm all pumped to go, ready to review Bleach. We're not even halfway into the first month yet, and already one of my favorite musicians of all time and favorite actors of all time, both dead. God damn, I don't even want to think what's going to happen by the end of this year, although, spoiler alert, I have some ideas. Ugh. Jeez, this is ridiculous. You know what? I think I'm just gonna leave the country. Screw this. Screw Bleach. I'm just gonna move to Alaska, get a log cabin, and live out the rest of my days as a fucking fur trapper.
Yeah, good plan, except for Alaska being part of the United States.
Oh, shut up! I'm not in the mood. Okay, fine then. I guess I'll just go to, you know, the, other place. Canada.
The fuck? Why did it get all ominous when you mentioned Canada? What the hell's wrong with Canada?
Oh, hey, you don't even want me to get into half of that. Holy shit, that's a topic for another day, let me tell you. But anyway, yeah, did anything exciting happen in this Bleach chapter, or is that just going to be depressing and full of death too?
Huh? Oh, well, nothing much, I guess. I mean, we focus on the fight with Gerard a little bit, and, Toshiro Hitsugaya shows up at the end. Yeah. But I think that's pretty much all that happened. Oh, and Yushiro gets stabbed by Askin, like, a lot.
What?
Yeah, he gets run through with, like, 3 arrows, like, in the back, and he's coughing up blood. It was kind of difficult to read, actually.
I need a miracle. There's hope for humanity after all! Yes! It's the chapter. Hi everybody, Tekking101 here to review Bleach chapter number 658, titled Fatal Matters Are Cold. Okay, actually I just realized why the chapter is named what it's named, because are cold, but that's not really that big of a shocker, but okay. Congratulations, Kubo. You were a little bit clever. Alright, anyway, so, chapter starts off with Yushiro and Yoruichi versus Askin. And we have Askin emerging from the attack that Yushiro dished out on him last time. Remember, Yushiro had a Shunko that was more of like a fire or combustion-based. So it basically caused like this localized nuclear explosion in the epicenter of the Varveld. And Askin came out of it looking kind of like a charred skeleton, but here he seems to be okay. His body is healing. He just kind of slicks his hair back like the boss he is, and he's just like, nah, Yuriatsu can no longer kill me. Even his hair is impenetrable, is healing itself. So Yoruichi's watching him, and quite literally, the burns and the wounds on his hand are literally just melting off of him, and she's just like, oh, have your wounds all healed already? And Askin's just like, oh, but of course, by raising the lethal dosage, I've become immune. Alright, so we got another aspect of Askin's power here, beyond just merely altering the lethal dose for the people around him, making certain substances poisonous or toxic. He is now able to adjust the lethal dosage of damage to himself, and if he raises that, then he won't be able to be killed. He'll be able to heal faster. A good way for me to look at this is, let's take Yoruichi's Shunko, which was like a lightning strike, okay? Now, a lightning strike in real world has about, like 5 billion joules of energy or something ridiculous like that. Using Askin's ability, though, once he takes all that electricity in, he can basically set any lethal dosage he wants. So he gets hit with, like, 5 billion joules of energy, he could just be like, alright, I'm gonna set my lethal dosage for 50 billion joules, and then the 5 billion ain't gonna barely even phase me. So once he raises the lethal dosage, his body actually just counteracts it completely. Kind of like, you know, you get the flu and you inject an antibody or something to fight the disease. You know, your body is basically fighting against the damage he took, so he can do this with anything. I'm assuming this is also the thing he did when Nimaya cut him with Sasafuse, you know, that Zanpakuto. He slit his fucking throat, Askin gets up, laps up the blood, and then the wound shuts. So maybe after he, you know, took in the blood, he's just like adjusting for the level of sharpness from Sayafuse, and he just like closed up the wound because his level of immunity is higher. This guy is also, I mean, I've already said Askin's OP, but this is going beyond that. This basically means like no attack can hurt him, because basically not only resisting the electrical attack from Yoruichi, but any other electrical attack that he takes is probably not going to do any damage because he's already have the resistance for it. Same thing with fire. You know, I mean, I wish Yamamoto was still alive. He might be have something to say about that, but since he's not around anymore, fire's probably not really going to hurt the dude anymore. Well, anyway, as I predicted from the last chapter, Yushiro, I mean, I spot on with this. I mean, I'm not going to say I am a super genius or whatever, because really anyone could have seen this coming. But yeah, Yushiro charges directly towards him because he goads him into it, like, hey, you guys better hurry up or you're not going to be able to kill me. So he erupts these awesome fire wings behind him as if Kubo couldn't stop making Yushiro look all epic. You know what? I'm not just pissed about this because of that. I'm pissed about this is because this is what I wanted from Basby's fucking Fultstandig. I mean, my god, Basby, Fultstandig, you get awesome wings and a halo. Jesus Christ, Kubo, at least make them fire wings. This is a no-brainer. You know, Basby flying around with epic, you know, phoenix wings and a fiery halo. No, he just gives him a regular standard halo and just two narrow fucking rods coming out of his back or some shit. You know, this is what I wanted to see, but no, it gets on Yushiro here, so he just uses Shunko once again, even though Askin basically said it wouldn't work. I guess you gotta call your bet, right? Okay, you Quincy bastard, you're going down! Shunko! Kid, I already told you that ain't gonna work. Ah, you think you can best me, you Quincy bastard? I'm the 23rd head of the Shihoin family. Yushiro Shihoin, you're going down! Kid, hey, look, can you... Okay, seriously, that's starting to get annoying. Okay, can you please stop? Personal space, bro! Oh, this is glorious. So in the blink of an eye, Askin just impales Yushiro with 3 of his arrows all in the same spot, right in the freaking spinal cord. Yushiro drops to his knees and starts coughing up blood, and it is glorious. I love watching you bleed, Yushiro. Oh my god, I might be a bit of a sadist. Maybe my Yuri's starting to rub off on me, but I don't care. I had to kiss a picture of Pepe because of this little brat. So, you know, apologies to me for taking it a little bit too far, but you know what? I'm gonna do a call that shit dance because, hey, I deserve it. But you know what, guys, ladies and gentlemen, this isn't gonna be just a standard call that shit dance. No, in honor of pop music sensation David Bowie, this will be a call that shit dance magic dance. Let's do this shit. Dance, magic dance, magic dance, magic dance, magic jump, magic jump, magic jump. Okay, I apologize to everybody on the planet. I originally wrote that in thinking it was going to be a kind of good idea, but obviously it flew flat on its freaking feet because I just realized I can't dance and I'm certainly not Bowie, so I just want you all just to remember, just forget that happened. It was a botch, it was an abortion, let's just move on. Alright, so Yushiro's down, Yoruichi runs to his aid, just right past Askin. He doesn't even really pay Yoruichi a second glance, he just kind of looks at her and just like, oh, it took you far too long to figure out my true power. You know that's quite lethal, Shihoin Yoruichi, and that's where we get the title page, and then we see Yoruichi cradling Yushiro in her arms, and that's all we get from that fight. But you know what? I'm cool with that. That's all I needed to see. Now, is Yushiro going to die? Okay, given the fact this is Bleach, and the death toll for this, I mean, it's higher than usual in the story of Bleach, but, I mean, I would say the possibility's still there just for the fact that Yushiro was a character that was, like, just introduced, like, barely 50 chapters ago. Like, Kensei and Rose, I mean, they might not even be dead. I mean, we might see them later on, but Izuru, we thought he was dead for the majority of this arc. He's back now. So, I mean, the track record of Kubo wants me to say that he's gonna be alive, but those are all with characters that we've knew for a long time. Yushiro's brand new. I don't know. I'm not feeling this, okay? But yeah, so whatever, we'll just get to that later. So we get the title page, Bleach 658, which for some reason Bleach is written upside down. Now, if you have a functioning brain, you might think immediately, oh shit, Shinji's gonna be doing some shit in this chapter because reversing stuff is his domain. And Very well, he might, upcoming in the chapters, but as for this particular chapter, Shinji don't even fucking appear, so I'm just gonna flip that back around because there's no point in that staying there. Maybe it's Kubo's way of foreshadowing, but I'm not really sure. Anyway, we cut back over to Gerard Valkyrie's fight. Remember, he beat down Byakuya, Renji, Rukia, and Shinji and Momo in the last few chapters, so they're just in the rubble, I guess, still unconscious, or maybe they're scurrying away. We cut to where the other Vizards are, specifically Hiyori, Hachi, and Lisa. They're behind a building, just kind of trying to stay away from Gerard and stating like, holy shit, that guy's huge, I don't even know how we're gonna fight it. Gerard, in the meanwhile, is just kind of like leaning on a building, just like, well, it was kind of cool going all God mode on them, but now it's just kind of a chore, because once he gets this big, sensing other people's Ryatsu, it's like, detecting a little tiny blip on a radar. He can barely, detect them anymore, and he likens it to, like, this is basically like a godly creature digging around in the sand trying to find an ant to kill. It's so far beneath him, so he's just kind of more annoyed at this point than anything else. But he immediately strikes up, contrary to that, when he just swaps his freaking hand behind him and crushes a building where Hiyori and Hachi were hiding, which is because I guess he knew they were there the whole time. He was just kind of, I don't know, playing coy, like, oh, I don't know where they are. Being this big is such a chore. Not! I don't know if he was just trying to lull them into a false sense of security, or that's just his humor, or that's just his character shtick. I don't know. Well, anyway, point is, Hiyori and Hachi gets flushed out. We have Hiyori, who jumps into the sky behind him, though. I guess she uses Shunpo or something. She's just like, blah, blah, blah. That speech of yours is just going in one ear and out the other. So let me show you how it's done, Baldy. And yeah, Baldy, that's just her, I guess, way of calling somebody a dumbass. But, I mean, I never understood that. I mean, I know it's her character's quirk and whatever, but it just doesn't seem insulting to me. Half the time she uses it on characters that aren't even bald, and I think that's the point. So they're more confused than they are insulted. That's like if I went up to somebody that has blue eyes and I'm like, hey, brown eyes. And they look at me and they're like, dude, I have brown eyes. It's like, yeah, that's why I called you blue eyes, you freaking blue eyes weirdo. And then he just walks away. I'd be like, okay. I am so confused right now. That's basically whatever, she calls someone baldy. That's basically the reaction they get. But of course, it's completely lost on Gerard, because he's just like, I have a full head of hair, thank you very much. And Hiyori's like, that's not what I meant, but whatever, doesn't matter. I'm going to shove a Sero in your face. 3 to be precise, as she busts out a new technique. Wait, whoa, back the fuck up. Okay, right there. Okay, so Gerard smashes the building, Hiyori avoids it, jumps behind Gerard from the sky, and activates her mask. Okay, let's just discuss this one more time. I have yet to receive a viable reason why, in the holy name of Aizen, why the fucking Vizards have not used their masks this entire arc.
Oh man, that bitch got me. If only I had some sort of ability or augmentation to lessen the damage I took. Oh well, can't live in a perfect world.
Aw, damn it, that Mexican luchador Nazi crushed my freaking arm. If there was only some way I could keep on fighting. Oh well, guess not.
Oh man, awesome. I managed to take that guy out without even going Hollow Mask. Everything's coming up roads. Okay, to be fair, I don't think the Hollow Mask would really help in this situation.
Shinji, Rose, Kensei. No masks! First battle that fucking... And they all had to... I mean, Shinji's been in like 3 battles this fucking arc. And then we have the advisors from the human world that are fighting against Gerard. First fight they've been in ever since the Fake Karakura Town arc. The first thing they do, activate mask, use hollow powers. Yet to receive a viable reason for this. The thing that comes closest is that they shouldn't have used their, they took an oath not to use their masks while in the Seirete. You know what? This has gone beyond just a little tidbit, okay? This is a fundamental part of their power which it's insanely useful during combat. Insanely useful. Let's not even get to Ichigo right now, of whether he still has it, because he's going through all that dilemma with his Zanpakuto and everything. And plus, he has all these different powers mixed in. But the visors up to this point, nothing changed. Nothing changed. There was no way I can see that they could have had the Hollow powers removed from them. And from this chapter, we know they don't. All right, so this goes beyond just a little thing that just maybe a few people noticed, okay? When I'm assuming Shinji's going to do something here because the visors are getting involved, so Shinji's probably going to pop out and do something here. Maybe he'll finally get a win this arc. But when he does pop out of the rubble, I really want him to explain. I want Hiyori to get up in his face like, hey, Baldy, why aren't you using your mask, Baldy? So then maybe he can explain, like, oh, we decided not to. I just want a reason, okay? I just want a reason. Even if it's a bullshit reason, like, we promised Yamamoto we wouldn't, even though he's dead now, and we got our asses kicked a shit ton of times, and the Seirete is about to be destroyed, and thousands of Shinigami lost their lives. Aside from that, we still hold that oath to be the utmost, even if it means our death. You know, even if that was the case, fine, bullshit reason, whatever, but I'll take it. Alright, at this point, I'll take anything. But just the fact that nothing's happened, that just pisses me right the fuck off. Okay, rant's over, continuing on. Okay, so she busts out the new Tri-Cero technique, which I admit is pretty cool. You know, she erupts it directly in Gerard's face, but of course he just kind of like swats that away too, because he's just so freaking gigantic at this point. I don't know if the miracle power, as in the conversion thing he can do, I don't know if that's a constant thing, or if it's only like a one-time deal. Like, he takes in all the damage at once, converts it into power, and he becomes his god size. Or if it's just like everything else after that, he can also absorb and convert into power. I don't know. But from what we see now, it's just he's just swatting attacks away, like they don't even phase him. So, Hiyori brings up, though, that wasn't really her plan, was to attack and damage Gerard directly. She was a diversion for Hachi, Love, and Lisa to all appear behind Gerard, who are also all wearing their hollow masks, except for Hachi for some reason. Don't really know why. Maybe he thinks it'll mess up his mustache. I don't know. Or maybe he thinks it's kind of an offensive Native American stereotype. I don't know. Well, anyway, he activates a Keto called Chocolate Bar Slider. Interesting name for a technique. That just makes me hungry for those White Castle sliders. I have some in the fridge. I think I'm going to eat some after this. Then we have Love, who's hollow-masked and uses Tengu Mara, which is his giant cudgel Zanpakuto with spikes all over it. And it's a fire type, so it uses a flame gavel technique. And then we have Lisa, who uses the technique Niju Ichijo Tomboku Dari. Lisa is so freaking, I mean, it's like the weirdest naming scheme when it comes to attacks. In Bleach, anyway. I know in other anime you could probably find a character that names their attacks weirder, but with Lisa's, it's like all named after like either books or magazines or, you know, just stuff you would find at a bookstore. Like that attack she used on that Gillion that like sliced it all up vertically, I mean horizontally with all the lines. That attack is like 1,000 books wholesale or something. Like that's the name of the attack. Or like 1,000 page turns or something. And this is an attack called 21st Article Dragonfly Landing, which article referring to all the girly I just realized Lisa would make the ideal girlfriend. I mean seriously, let's think about this. She's into manga, she wears a schoolgirl uniform, she's pretty damn sexy, and she's kind of like erotic, like she's into the sexy kinky shit. Like perfect girlfriend, 10 out of 10, that would be Lisa. Anyway, they all released their volley of attacks on Gerard. We see that like little remnants of each one. Obviously the big explosion that's coming off of Gerard, that's an attack from Love. We see the remnants of the chocolate bar slider attack, which I guess is just like a bunch of barriers that just Hachi chucks at his opponent. And then on the bottom we see a bunch of needles producing outside of the explosion, which is probably Lisa's attack. Anyway, this attack or attack combination does nothing either. Gerard just swipes his freaking shield and blasts them all into the freaking building, and then states, at this rate, I'm liable to die from boredom. Oh well, I think I'll just kill you anyway and move on with my boredom. So he goes to punch each one of them in turn, and his entire arm gets frozen in the process, which of course can only mean one thing. Rukia Kuchiki arrives from the rubble and takes him out. Oh, Rukia, I knew you were still here. Saving grace, like an angel. I love you. No, it's not Rukia. Turns out that it's Toshiro Hitsugaya. Woo, yeah. Side note, I don't know if you guys know this, but this is like the third time this arc where the chapter cliffhanger, the ending, has been just Toshiro arriving on the scene. That's happened 3 goddamn times. Happened at the end of chapter 547 when he arrived with Grangiku to fight Basby. It happened at the end of chapter 591 when he showed up as a zombie. And it happened here in chapter 658 when he arrived to take on Gerard. Like, I don't know if Kubo thinks, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have Toshiro arriving at the end of the chapter. That'll make everyone scream with, like, oh man, next chapter, man, Toshiro's gonna wreck shit. I'm sorry, Kubo. Yeah, that doesn't do it for us anymore. It's not really helping out much. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If you would have had, like, any other character, like, if that would have been Isane, that would have been more interesting to me. Because you know what? Isane Zanpakuto is actually hinted. It's called Frozen Cloud, Itegumo. That could possibly be another Ice Zanpakuto. That would be as cooler if I saw Isane standing there with her Zanpakuto. And Isane's probably not going to do shit this arc. But I'm just, like, so meh when it comes to Toshiro. I don't even care when he shows up. Although, I will say one thing about his powers. You might all be thinking, hey, Toshiro's gonna get fucked because you have Gerard here that beat down Byakuya and all these other stronger characters. Toshiro, who's maybe not even at full strength because he's just been revived by Mayuri, he's gonna go down so easily. The one thing I think he has going for him is the entire Varvelt is made of ice, and he's the ice guy. And this is even more. I think Kubo even gives a hint that this might play a vital role in this battle, because if you look down at his feet, you can see that it's transparent. So the building he's standing on is also made of ice. So I don't know if Kubo put that there to give a hint to us, like, hey guys, the battleground is ice. Toshiro's power is ice. So even though he might not be strong enough, he's got home field advantage here. So this attack's not going to do anything to Gerard, though. He's probably just going to, you know, break off the fucking ice, charge at Toshiro. He's going to go Bankai, because he's still in Shikai here, which also I think gives a little bit of a hint what's going on here. But look, I'll just say this, okay? I'm not a huge Toshiro fan, but he deserves a win. He deserves a solid fight where his enemy does not, I mean, the fight does not get interrupted by a third party, or he immediately passes out afterwards, after his fight with Kaindu, which he did win, but he immediately passed the fuck out, got turned into a zombie by Giselle. He deserves a solid, badass fight where it's just him and his opponent exchanging blows, and then he takes the opponent out and doesn't immediately collapse. Can we have this? Please. Something akin to this. Alright. I guess he deserves it. He was the most popular character at one point. I don't know if he still is, but probably. Anyway, that's the end of the chapter. Next one's probably going to catch up to that. I don't think we're going to go back to Askin for a while. I'm a little bit peeved by that, but hey, we did. I'm actually not, because I don't want the fight with Askin to end so quickly. I don't want it to be like, you know, okay, here's the 6th chapter with Askin's fight, so that's it, it's done. We're not going to be seeing any more of him. He's dead. I don't want that. I want that to be drawn out as much as possible. So, yeah. Anyway, next chapter, probably going to be Gerard versus Toshiro. Probably going to see some new techniques from Toshiro. So, yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed. Tekking, signing out. Also, that outfit, hope he keeps it, because that's way cooler than anything else he's ever worn in this entire series. Alright. See you guys. Signing out.